Hello, study buddies, and welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're feeling the heat of exam season right now, I want you to just take a deep breath. Really. Today we're going to transform a complex, honestly kind of dry topic into an absolute breeze. Consider this your lightning-fast revision masterclass. It's totally dedicated to saving you time, reducing your stress, and basically locking these essential corporate law concepts permanently into your brain.
So, let's be totally honest for a second. Are you panicking about memorizing all those corporate charge forms before you walk into the exam hall? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. Remembering which specific CHG form number corresponds to which specific registration, certificate, or modification, it can literally feel like trying to memorize the phone book. The forms from CHG-1 all the way to CHG-9 trip up so many students just because the names are incredibly similar. But hey, don't worry. I've got a foolproof, super fast trick to lock the whole shebang into your memory.
All right, let's just dive straight into this. Here is your ultimate cheat code. It's a single, logical sentence that acts as a master key for the entire CHG series. Read it with me, out loud if you can. Charge, register, maintain by senior creditors, and receive register from central government to director of company. Now, I know, it sounds like a bit of a mouthful at first glance. But this sentence is ingeniously constructed. Every single keyword directly maps to a form number in perfect chronological order. It's a real game changer.
Okay, part 1, the basics. Charge, register, maintain. Let's break this down so we don't get overwhelmed.
The mapping here is as simple as counting them out on your fingers. Our very first word, charge, maps exactly to form CHG-1. Next up is register, giving us CHG-2. And third is maintain, locking in CHG-3. Boom, you already have the first 3 forms anchored. But, what do they actually mean in practice? Let's decode that.
So, the absolutely crucial starting point is our very first word, charge. It corresponds to CHG-1. This is the starting line, guys. It stands for the registration of the creation or the modification of a charge. Think about it logically for a second. Before you can do literally anything else, the charge itself has to be created or modified, right? It's the genesis of the entire process, so naturally, it gets form number 1.
Now notice the sharp contrast between our next 2 steps. Once you file the creation, what do you get? Well, you get a certificate of registration. So our second word, register, reminds us that CHG-2 is the certificate of registration of charge. But what if you filed a modification instead? Then you need to maintain those updated records. Our third word, maintain, maps to CHG-3, which is the certificate of modification of charge. Listen, examiners absolutely love to test if you mix up CHG-2 and CHG-3. Just remember the flow. You register the new charge first, and then you maintain the modifications later.
Okay, let's take a super quick pause. You've created the charge, you've registered it, and you've maintained it. But wait, who comes into the picture after we maintain the register? This brings us perfectly to the next phase of a corporate charge lifecycle, which usually involves the actual people you owe money to.
Moving on to part 2, the seniors. Our next chunk focuses on the words senior, creditors, and receive.
Just like before, we're going to sequence these right out. Senior takes the number 4 slot for CHG-4. Creditors slides perfectly into CHG-5, and the word receive neatly rounds out this little trio as CHG-6. Let's look at their exact definition so we can nail this. Our fourth word is senior. This connects directly to CHG-4, which is the intimation of satisfaction of charge. Imagine it like this. The senior management is finally intimating or declaring that the debt has been fully satisfied. The charge is paid off. Huge relief, right? The company intimates this happy news using CHG-4. But of course, just claiming you paid it isn't quite enough in the corporate world. The creditors, our fifth word, actually need to acknowledge it. And this brings us to CHG-5, which is the actual certificate of satisfaction of charge. When you see the word creditors in your memory palace during the exam, you'll immediately know it's about the certificate proving the creditors are completely satisfied. Now for our sixth word, receive. Honestly, this one is practically self-explanatory, which is exactly why this mnemonic is so powerful. Receive maps straight to CHG-6, which is the form for the appointment or cessation of a receiver or manager. If the debt isn't satisfied and the creditors have to take action, a receiver comes in. Receive equals receiver. It's just an instant mental connection. You guys are doing great. We've successfully navigated the first 6 forms. We are almost done. So who do we receive the next register from? Well, we need to look at the higher authorities and special cases to round out the CHG series.
Let's keep that brain active as we sprint toward the final 3 forms.
Part 3, the authorities. We'll use our final 3 words to conquer the end of the series: register, central government, and director.
Let's visualize the finish line here. Register maps to CHG-7, central government maps to CHG-8, and director maps to CHG-9. Easy enough, right? Let's unpack them.
Now pay super close attention here because this is the second time the word register actually appears in our trick. The first time it was for the certificate of registration. But here, as the 7th word, register refers specifically to the official register of charges maintained by the company itself. So, CHG-7 is simply the internal register of charges.
So, what happens if you make a mistake or, say, miss a deadline? Well, you've got to appeal to a higher power. That brings us to our 8th phrase, central government. This brilliantly triggers CHG-8. If you ever need an extension of time or a rectification of the register, you go straight to the central government using form CHG-8.
And finally, the 9th word, director. This links to our final form, CHG-9, which deals with the registration or modification of charges specifically for debenture holders. Think of it like the director issuing debentures to raise massive funds for the company. Director equals debenture holders. And just like that, we've literally cracked the code for all 9 forms. No way you're forgetting that now.
All right, final quick revision. Time to lock it in your memory for good.
Let's go.
Look at this ultimate cheat sheet. Follow along with me, say it out loud. Charge, register, maintain by senior creditors, and receive, register from central government to director. Let's run it back at warp speed. Charge is 1 for creation. Register is 2 for certificate of registration. Maintain is 3 for certificate of modification. Senior is 4 for intimation of satisfaction. Creditors is 5 for certificate of satisfaction. Receive is 6 for receiver. Register is 7 for register of charges. Central government is 8 for extension. Director is 9 for debenture holders. Lock this sequence permanently into your brain. You've totally got this.
And literally, that is how you conquer corporate law forms. What seemed like an absolute nightmare of numbers is now just one simple sentence. So the real question I want to leave you with is, now that you've mastered exactly how to register a charge, are you ready to dive into what actually happens when a company defaults on one? Something to think about. If you like this trick and found it helpful for your revision, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you right here on The Explainer for your next legal trick. Happy studying!